if you have high sensitivity to negative emotions, not only are you probably hyper creative and everything else that comes with that, but you may not have fit into mainstream society and possibly also not have been understood, which means that you may have not been able to develop the coping skills that, I don't know, are expected of people in, well, at least Western society. Maybe that's a wrong expectation, who knows. I was working last night actually till late. Not usual, as I'm normally working on my thesis and dealing with other more pressing issues. But work is good sometimes, absolutely. Squeeze it all in with the amount of the smorgasbord of stuff of which is required of us, forget my English, to cram into what we now call a day, compared to, I guess, how a few generations ago used to sort of only have 1 or 2 things to do in a day, as opposed to 1 or 2,000 like it is today. Adding work to the mix is also great. When I say work, everything is work. This is now paid work in something that is not maybe your area of main interest. And so it feels a lot more like work, especially if you're a blue collar individual. You might be working, or if you're hyper creative, like you may be doing a job that you don't hate because it pays the most money, and that's enough to help you keep going while you're working on your thesis, playing your piano, teaching your languages, and doing everything else on all the other channels that some of you may or may not know about. So long story short, medium length, I woke up this morning, and it wasn't this morning, it was this afternoon. This can happen when you have introduced into your world a new piece of little bit of extra medication due to anxiety that allows you to actually sleep through the evening. It meant I slept through the evening and the morning. Woke up, massive anxiety attack. Oh no, so much stuff I have to do. What am I going to do? Well, firstly, I can't control the outcome of the day. I can only control the input. Sat there, took my time, had my breakfast, which was apples and other fruits. A little bit of Turkish coffee or Arabic coffee, Azerbaijani coffee, Hebrew coffee, because he brews it, it's all the same thing. I think the guys next to me are speaking Portuguese, sounds like it, maybe from Brazil. So here I am sitting here waiting on people to calculate some administration, which happens every time I come here. Here we go, we're back. Sorry, sir, you're not on the system. And I said, yes, I know I'm not on the system. Any reason why you're not on the system, sir? I don't know. It happens every time. And I keep coming back and bringing everyone here records that I'm not on the system. And they keep saying I'm not on the system. I know that. I said that when I walked in the door. It's not their fault. It's just hilarious when you have, I don't know, too many heads or no heads. Who knows how that one works. So you can only control the input, not the outcome. Well, at least that's how I'm seeing it as much as I can at the moment. We can do only our best. Can we make the right decision at each minute that passes, or what we think is right given the information we have? That's all we can do. Does it turn out to be mostly wrong? Yes. And even if it was right, do other people who don't know you well enough think it was wrong, or does it turn out to be wrong even if your intentions were right? I mean, there's not much that we can control, if anything, really, even our own breathing. Well, you could consciously try to do that. It lasts about 30 seconds until you forget that that's what you're trying to do. Sun is so beautiful. Winter sun is just perfect. It gives you just that hint of an olive skin tan, the warmth. Absolutely no chance of burning unless you somehow left the atmosphere and drove right towards somebody. You'd have other problems if that was the case. Focused on breathing, what I did today, just breathe in, breathe out, focused on that. Allowed myself to remember that control over anything is almost zero. What we have is temporary. Do we generate meaning to try and transcend our own mortality? Yeah. And over time, you hunt around for what is maybe meaningful, but the easiest way is to move away from what's not meaningful. And then, by definition, you narrow down, if possible, where it is that you need to go. And making these little videos, who knows? They seem to help a few people. People make comments, which is great. And helping them makes me feel good. I learned that a little while ago. For anyone who goes to the main channel, go to realspeakinghuman.com, periscope.tv/gabsmack. Talk a lot about that stuff. I have an obscene level of altruism, but that is, if you dig down deep enough, that's selfish, because it makes me feel good to help other people. It makes me feel valued, that I'm helping other people. Transcendence, which has only occurred recently, is now where I almost completely don't care whether people know if I help or not. I would say I used to care on a scale of 10 out of 10. I used to care 10 out of 10. I was going to say 11, but that's irrational. Now I care about, say, 3, 2.5, 3. I'd like to say 0, but that's not true. It's about 2.5, 3. But you can't control. You can offer a homeless person money. You feel good. You know that you help them maybe, or they could go blow it on drugs, and then someone else says you're enabling them. I'm not saying that's happened to me.
I gave this homeless dude my jacket, and it was a suit jacket, but that's all right. It was a suit jacket.